Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Evolving. If this is your first time finding me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now I'm going to be doing a Claire Tarot reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. Just so you guys know, my readings really are not specific for zodiacs. Okay, if you find yourself on my video and the message is resonating, like deeply resonating with you, your soul probably guided you to this channel to get that message. Okay, so here we go. Pisces. I'm told to get this card. Dang it. Okay. All right, just pulling some cards for us. Hold on. Final deck. Very interesting. Very interesting. Ooh, 2 cards. Okay, guys, here goes. So, card number 47, Grand Cross, Provoker. You're being provoked into stages of growth that you might not be wanting or willing to partake in. You're definitely being provoked. Hold on. And it's not necessarily provoked as in someone's trying to fight with you, but I'm seeing so many Pisceans are overloaded at this point, like really overloaded with all the energies, the shifting, all of that. And because of our overwhelming experiences, we become kind of resistant to the growth itself. So life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. This is an area of tension, thus becoming a great catalyst for movement and change. Let's see. This also indicates a period of time when your life may seem at cross purposes. Usually when this card pops up, it indicates a crisis, yet through this calamity will be the painful process of growth, then renewal, and eventually a greater foundation for happiness and success. Strangely, it's almost as if the planetary energies are in competition with each other when this happens. So it's like there's different parts of you that are fighting. It's like you're fighting yourself. Okay, that's basically the message that I'm getting, that we are fighting ourselves in our process, our organic process, and we kind of need to not do that anymore. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, it has to do with pressure, discipline, frustration, growth, defensiveness, competition, and victory. You will not let go of a person no matter how hard it gets. There will be a sacrifice and compromise with this relationship. And it will be one where you may want to bump your head against many walls that seem to fly up out of nowhere. You're being challenged, and if you don't weather it out and see what the future brings, you will likely always regret letting this relationship go. Okay, so for those of you that are fighting yourselves regarding a relationship, follow your own intuition. Follow your own intuition. Don't base your relationship off of what I'm saying. I really can't allow you to give me that kind of power over your journey. Okay. So for some of you, this is something your soul is telling you that you have to pause. Don't be so reactive and defensive. Pause and see if this is something still worth working out. Okay. And if it has to do with twins, If your question has to do with twins and that's why you're feeling like you've been pulled out of your own water and out of your element, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Seriously. Leave them alone. If you are meant to be together, they will come back. They will come back and they will try and reestablish something with you. Okay? If they left, leave them alone. If you're the one that left, pause and see why it was that you left to begin with. Okay? Was it your own insecurities that were rising up and being mirrored and that freaked you out? Did you get triggered? Whatever other reason. Pause and see what your personal reasoning is and see if this is something that, that maybe you should have walked away from. Okay? So this card is about becoming more realistic and focused. It has mainly to do with the shifting of energy and switching into gear. Excuse me, into gear. So card number 33, Heaven Sent. Your higher self is sending you all the experiences and individuals that you need to experience or have connections with in order to grow yourself, in order to better understand the messages that your soul is trying to give you, okay? Don't be so attached to the messenger. So sometimes people are brought into our lives simply to deliver messages, deliver lessons. Don't be so attached to the messenger. Instead, focus on the message, okay? Card number 4, doable. The key is within your grasp. So whatever it is you're struggling through right now, Pisces, you've really, really partitioned yourself. You've separated yourself and you've gone deep into the trenches of your heart, and it's almost like a prison at this point. So you have to unlock that door and allow yourself to swim freely, okay? Don't exist so deep in your limitations, your perceived limitations. Let's see. Card number 12, Black Moon Lilith, mystery. A lot of interference, a lot of, again, Pisces, you already know, it's like black magic is involved in every fucking reading. I'm so sick of people and their black magic bullshit. So, yeah, that's what this card means. So, in revenge and in love, woman is more barbaric than man. It's time to be careful. Think of what might manifest over anger, bitterness, or revenge. What you have worked so hard for may collapse. If you're going to really fixate and amplify destructive energy, then it will destroy everything. Okay? Destruction is not discriminant. It does not discriminate between light and dark. Destruction is destruction. And there's nothing evil about destruction, the concept of destruction. It's not immediately evil. Sometimes destruction is what's necessary. No. All the time. Destruction is necessary to tear down and clear away the structures, mental, emotional, societal structures that have become prisons for our consciousness. So sometimes that destructive force is simply the breaking down of something. Other times that destructive force recruits dark things, dark thoughts, dark processes, dark individuals, dark groups to initiate the dismantling. And this might be what we're experiencing right now, Pisces. It might be that we are experiencing a lot of people's negativity to really deconstruct whatever energetic, emotional, or mental structures that have become our prisons. Thank you, Alban. So just make sure you pay attention to what's going on in your life, okay? Okay. Black Moon Lilith represents soul expansion and cosmological awareness, the force in aloneness and the path of the individual. As a shift in power and consciousness, she symbolizes destruction before creation. Okay, let's see. She's the ancient goddess of transformation. Okay. So Lilith is the root, the mother of succubus and incubus. We have to be careful, Pisces, because we have such a delectable juju. A lot of people find our essence rather intoxicating. That doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them evil. It doesn't make them malicious. It's just something that many Pisceans have experienced, where people get intoxicated and then obsessed with your energy, with you. And you have to be very mindful of that, okay? The people who are toxic in their behaviors and their approach to you, the people who try and demand of your time and your attention, be very, very weary of that. Right now is a time where many Pisceans are intentionally being drained, okay? Doesn't mean that the people who are draining you are intentionally trying to harm you. There is just such a huge void that has been created within everybody, with the things we are experiencing as a species, human species. There has been a huge, huge void created in each of us. This void was created to fill it later on. Fill it with what? That really depends on what you allow. Are you going to allow that void to be filled with fear? Are you going to allow that void to be filled with a sense of renewal, a sense of rebuilding, a sense of empowerment? It's really up to you. And if people are asking, how was that void created? Through fear, through withholding. Many of us had our jobs taken away. Many of us had our routines taken away. Many of us had our dignity stripped away. Many of us have had actually, no, all of us, every single last one of us have had our sense of security, even within our home, within our cities, taken away from us. So yeah, that leaves a gaping void, okay? That leaves a huge, huge gaping void. And now if you're not cognitive of that void, if you are not consciously choosing what to fill that void with, because you could fill it with love, empowerment, knowledge, wisdom, hope, all of those beautiful good things, it will be filled with fear. It will be filled with toxicity. It will be filled with all sorts of things that help to shrink your consciousness even more. You are so much more than just someone who needs to comply, someone who needs to do as you're told. Ooh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. There may be a tendency to isolate and focus on feelings of revenge. There is no need for revenge, ever, 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 you guys. I don't care what they did. When you participate in that revenge mindset, you shackle yourself to that moment you were violated, to that moment where your sovereignty was not respected, was not honored. And I have had so many things that have been attempted on me that I would have been righteous in my desire for revenge. I have never taken revenge. I'm fully capable. I'm not going to play this like cupcake role of, no, I'm just too nice. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I am a human being. I'm a real person. When you hurt me, yes, I consider revenge. And every single time, my heart tells me that's not who you are. Not in this life. And I listen because my heart has always guided me through things, the most painful things. My heart has always found a way to help heal those aspects of myself. And so I listen to it. And every single time my heart tells me, you're not that. You're not someone that needs to do revenge. And that's how I've always been able to move forward from the things that people do. And I tell you, if you're going to participate in that revenge thing, you have shackled yourself to that moment where you felt this big. There's no space between my fingers. You felt this big. That's the moment you gave your power away. I'm not saying that you deserved whatever happened, because I didn't deserve that. But that was a moment where I didn't listen to my intuition and I gave my power away, and someone took advantage of that. Someone took advantage. Now, are you going to shackle yourself to that moment? That's up to you. But if you keep with that revenge thing, absolutely, yes, you are. Let me just make it clear for you. Yes, you are. If you don't understand that you've shackled yourself to that, I'm telling you right now, you have. You have. This is why you can't move forward. This is why you keep fixating on how you're going to get back at them. For what? For what? What does that accomplish? Hold on. You have a feeling you're waiting for something to happen, but you don't have the entire information, so the facts are hidden or mysterious. Something stalks. You feel it. Lilith is sharp. She knows. She senses. She processes what's there. Because Lilith feels slighted, she can represent a formidable foe or dangerous enemy. Through Lilith, we discover creativity and the beauty that can exist in the darkness as long as we keep our own demons in check and under our rule. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this has to do with the Queen of Swords, mystery, revolt, revenge, darkness, erotic obsessions, the witch's wand of power. That's intense. So, feelings of being replaced, rejection, demands of power, control, outsmarting the opposition, winning, what survives, what stays alive, creativity, unplanned births. Unplanned birth. So that tells me many of us don't realize that we are rebirthing ourselves. We are in the process of rebirthing ourselves. Fascinating. The balancing of karma. And if it helps your ego to think of it this way, maybe you could see someone else slighting you as, well, they're just balancing because in a previous life, I fucked your ass up, bitch. I'm just saying, if it helps you to process, I probably fucked your ass up in the previous life. You just trying to get even. That's fine. That's so little of you, but that's fine. Hey, whatever gets you to process it, you don't need to have revenge and cling to that. Card number 40, Sacred Fool. Don't play the Sacred Fool. Okay? Don't play the Sacred Fool. Allow yourself to realize your higher self is the one that's been pulling the strings the whole time. Whatever someone did to you to hurt you, that was on some level allowed because the higher self was utilizing that individual and that circumstance to bring your attention to a lesson at hand. Stop focusing on the messenger. Sometimes when people hurt you and you focus on the person that hurts you, their identity, you are focusing on the messenger. They are nothing more than a tool to help you realize certain things that your higher self wants you to know at this point. Things about yourself, things about your journey, how you are co-creating something that's distorted, okay? This is not about blaming. This is about understanding, and through that understanding, you become empowered. Card number 29, perfect acceptance. Okay, you can accept things, but don't blind yourself from the truth. Don't allow your acceptance to blind yourself from what's really going on. All right, it's important for you to be aware. Oh, shoot. Okay. So card number 21, beyond the mind, the heart beats. You're going through a consciousness expansion. You're having an activation of dormant sections of your morphogenetic template. You have to examine where your conversation or lack thereof comes from. What are you attempting to communicate but failing to? This reddish scarf around the throat, this tells me there is something that needs to be communicated that ties into your sense of survival that isn't being communicated. And you're needing to examine it. Look at her jawbone being x-rayed. You need to examine the foundation of that lack of communication. Okay? Your survival is tied to you receiving messages from your higher self. I'm drooling. That red bindi dot on her third eye, red being the root chakra. Okay, so this is really, really important for you to do now. It's a time to really dive deep into yourself and recognize what process you're in. So card number 36, 12th house, escape? What are you trying to escape? Your own growth? Are you realizing that maybe you're trying to travel a straight linear path and that's not your path? That's not the path of your soul. If you're trying to live your life by numbers because other people are making you feel as though unless you do, unless you agree, unless you comply, unless you submit, you're going to be rejected. Pisces, why are we so afraid of rejection? Why is that? Why is that? Because maybe it's beyond just Pisces. Maybe it's everybody. Maybe it's everybody, and some individuals are just better at hiding it than others. Maybe some people are better at compensating for this fear. I don't know. But it's a sense of rejection. That fear of rejection is what's causing you to feel as though you're forced into compliance. This is not an existence where you were created simply to comply. It's not. You're here to learn things. You're here to expand your consciousness. You're here to really question. And it's okay for you to remain in a childlike state, a state of wonder and awe and questioning. What is that? Why? And people will get irritated, and that's fine. That's fine. They can be irritated all they want, but you need to continue asking and being curious and expanding and exploring yourself, exploring your life, exploring your connections with other people. It's really important for you to understand certain aspects of your life that can only be understood by exploration. This is encouragement. Card number 30, serendipity, merge with the flow. If you merge with the flow, what ends up happening is an epiphany. Card number 6, your gifts are revealed. So this is such a potent message. I've never seen it this way. Pisces, y'all have such a big heart, okay? We as Pisceans have a huge, huge heart. And for many of us, that heart has become a wall of overgrowth. That heart space energy has become the very thing that has confined us, imprisoned us. And if you don't check the growth, sometimes that growth is imbalanced, okay? It's not balanced, and it overgrows, and we think that, well, we're being nice to people, we're helping people. This is where the Piscean mentality of I'm going to help save you. You're going to be my person project, and I'm going to heal you and save you. And no, you're not. You're not. You're not. Okay? If you think you're here as a healer, you're here to heal yourself. You can assist, you can facilitate someone else's self-healing. But without their permission, there's nothing you can do to help them heal. Just look at doctors. Until someone changes the mindset that created the condition. Because sometimes that mindset causes us to self-medicate. Sometimes that mindset causes us to overeat, eat things we're not supposed to, expose ourselves to chemicals, all sorts of toxins. No matter what the doctor tries to do, so long as a person continues with that mindset that perpetuates the behaviors that led to the condition, that person is going to relapse. That person is going to have another health condition. There's really nothing you can do without that person's consent, without their wanting it. You don't have that kind of power. You just don't. And if you think you have that kind of power, I want you to consider a parasitic extraction, because that's parasitic thoughts. I wouldn't be surprised if you're having parasitic thought inception occurring. It's just like how they said in the Bible, that story of Jesus on the cliff. I believe it went something like he was fasting in the desert. He was by himself. Excuse me. I'm going to sneeze. He was by himself in the desert, and forgive me if I forget how the story actually goes. But he was at a cliff, and the devil came or something, demons came, and were telling him, if you're the son of God, throw yourself off the cliff and have God prove it to you. God will send angels to keep you from falling and dying. Yeah. This desire to prove and for other people to acknowledge your greatness, that's parasitic. That's parasitic. People say, "Oh, Emmie, you're so humble because you don't try and flaunt how powerful you are." No, I'm not interested in recognition. I'm not interested in none of that shit. I took that story to heart when I heard that as a child. So if you think that you need to be recognized as someone who has authority over someone else's sovereign space, you might want to book a parasitic session, parasitic extraction. This overgrowth of the heart, overgrowth tends to not be good, regardless of what the energy is. Overgrown trees, overpopulated areas, over anything. Things in excess is not good. There was a, hold on. There was a message of balance, needing balance. I think it was the other reading. This needing balance was what I was getting. Hold on. For this card, the Grand Cross Provoker, I'm being told this is also a message of allowing yourself to expand in all directions, not just in one way or what you believe to be the right way. Allow yourself to be open to expanding in whatever way or direction your higher self is guiding you to. Because as much as you think you know, I promise you, your higher self knows more. I promise you that. Whatever I thought I knew, and I'm really good at figuring things out, my higher self helped me to see, no, baby girl. No, you just scratched the surface. You didn't actually fully understand what my plan for you was. So just be aware of that. Let me get, ooh, shit. I'm kind of nervous to pick this card up. A card fell. Okay. Okay, so this card fell. Oasis of hope. The successes that seem impossible are all the more precious for their unlikelihood. These are reminders of divine power, the triumph of hope, of winning against the odds. Remember that life thrives hidden even in the desert. Do not give up hope. Believe in the inevitability of your beautiful destiny. So, I mean, wasn't the title of this reading, they're trying to take you out of your own waters? That's a dried up riverbed. Dried up. Pisces, have you allowed yourself to get dried up? Was your higher self trying to encourage you to flow where the water was going and you were like, no, I'm good right here. I'm co-creating. I'm the creator of my destiny. I'm good right here. And your higher self is like, no, we need to go down river more. And you're like, no, I know better. I've done the reading. I've done the work. I love that when people say that. I've done the work. I'm woke. I'm woke. I'm woke and I meditate and I eat the things I'm told I'm supposed to eat. And I drink the things that I'm supposed to drink. And so I got this. I know this. And look what happened. Was it because you didn't listen to someone else? Is it someone else's fault? Did someone sabotage you? Or was it you? Did you sabotage yourself because you allowed your ego to convince you that you know more than your own higher self? This is a deep ass lesson that you're going to have to learn. One that, with the drying up of your hydroplasma, your liquid energy, you're probably going to feel cracks in your spiritual skin. You're probably going to feel really, really raw as the sun, the heat of the light of your truth and the realization of the gravity of your own co-created struggle, that's probably going to hurt. It's going to leave you feeling very raw, very vulnerable, very exposed. It's a painful process. And I tell you that speaking from experience, because I do this a lot. I do this a lot. I mean, how did you get to your level of awareness and knowing? Because I fucking did this so much. Yeah, no, I do this a lot. And after a certain point, your soul will not just let you to dry out, leave you to dry out like this and be gasping for air. At some point, your soul will get sick of your own shit and start dragging you by your hair through a dry riverbed. Because as much as your soul is going to let you feel the suffering that comes hand in hand with your refusal to listen to your higher self, what ends up happening is your soul doesn't want you to just stay there and suffer needlessly. So it will drag you. And you will probably hurt more as it drags you, but that dragging is not punishment. The dragging you is to take you back to your water. So that's what it is. You can fight and deny and sit in that drying riverbed, and then you can be pissed off and say that you're being violated for being dragged. But at the end of the day, what ends up happening is your soul brings you back to your water. Okay? Eventually, your soul will bring you back to your water, and you'll understand. You'll survive it, and you'll understand. And really, that struggle is unnecessary. Okay? If you would just listen, you wouldn't have to experience that. But some of us learn better when we experience firsthand. And if you're one of those people, don't be mad that you're experiencing it firsthand, because that's what you chose. I'm one of those people. That's what I choose. Whenever a lesson comes up, I usually, for one reason or another, always choose the most difficult way to learn that lesson. That's me. That's me. And so now I'm no longer pissed at my higher self. It's just, okay, girl, do you want to be dragged? No? Then listen. Listen to what your soul is telling you. So you guys have to listen, okay? What do you need elaboration on, Jaden? We go through seasons. So sometimes a stream or a riverbed will be full of water, and the water will dry up. And so that riverbed dries up as well. So we can see it as seasons where we have a winter and all the water, all the moisture gets locked up as cold. This is when we enter a phase where we are just locked up in ourselves. And then as spring comes and the light of our truth, the sun, our internal sun, starts to thaw our emotional winter, more of that fluid, more of that hydroplasma is allowed to be released and become a dynamic, energetic flow again. And so we have an excess of water. And this is a period where we can really use this energy to create quite a bit of beauty in our lives. It depends. How are you going to use this water? How are you going to harness it? Are you going to go ahead and build yourself a hydro dam, whatever the hell it is called, a dam to shore up this water so you could use it? Well, you've just created blockages. Or are you going to allow the flow of this energetic river to push the paddles of the wheel that then generates the electricity, and you can store that without creating blockages? Or are you just going to be like, the water's always going to be here, and as you watch it dry up through the summer months, the heat of your learning, the phase where you experience a tremendous amount of heat from your learning, are you going to be mad that it starts to dry up? I mean, you need to know when to utilize this energy, how you're going to utilize this energy. And there's no specific way for you to do this. this is something you're going to have to work with your higher self to understand and know and flow with your process. Okay. So you guys, I hope this message gives you some sort of clarity. Please do give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. I gotta go. I have to get ready for sessions. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.